this right here is the style canoe that the Cherokee would have used. Now these are just scale models, so the real ones are going to be anywhere from 40 to 60 feet long and about 5 to 6 feet wide. Now trees were a lot bigger back then, as were the rivers, than what you may have passed on your way up here. Now the tree they prefer to use will be something like the yellow poplar tree. They tend to grow very long and straight. The branches usually don't grow out to the top of the tree, so you had a nice blank space to work with. And in order to get that tree down, before things like chainsaws and metal axes, what the Cherokee would do is set a ring of fire around the base of that tree, use red clay to prevent that fire from spreading outwards, and eventually that fire is going to burn to the bottom of that tree, causing it to fall over. And then you would strip the bark of it off, all of that tree off, and then you would set a fire on top of this log. So this entire canoe was shaped out by being burned out rather than being carved out. And so it would take upwards of a year to fully burn out a canoe and shape it out, but it did last a very long time. These are still washing up today that are hundreds of years old. The reason why they last so long is because when you burn them out, you get a hardening effect. It pulls all the moisture out of this log. It seals this log up. Also, once it was in the water, it never left the water. For two reasons. For one, they were upwards of 1,000 pounds. Nobody wanted to be moving these in and out of the water. Also, once it was in the water, if you took it out, it's going to start to dry rot and fall apart. It doesn't do that if you constantly leave it in the water, so the water helps preserve it. So when it was not being used, it would be filled up with rocks, submerged just below the surface of the water near the side of the riverbank until somebody needed it again. Now, theoretically, you could fit around 12 people on one, but that's going to make it very unstable. So you only had about 2, 3, maybe 4 people using them at a time. The main purpose for this was to haul trade goods around. And these would be taken as far down as South America, up into Canada, all up and down the East Coast, and far out west as Texas. So there was already a very huge and established trade network going on long before the Europeans even arrived here. And this was also like a universally agreed upon thing. So, because everybody would have benefited from trading, therefore you didn't have to worry about being attacked or anything while you were carrying all these trade goods around. Now, in order to move these around, they didn't use paddles or oars. Instead, just got a really long stick and just hit the bottom of the river or the side of the riverbank and just push the canoe along. But, any questions?
Did they ever use them for warfare?
Nope. Too big, too slow. So. All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about trade after European arrival up at that trading post up there.
Long crowd.